Hey guys, we're gonna do a little graphing lines today. Sorry if it's a little blurry, it looks blurry to me, but I'm sure you'll be just fine. But yeah, this should be a review from Algebra 1. It's just been a long time since we've done graphing lines, so this week we're gonna graph lines two ways. We're gonna use an XY chart, and we're gonna use slope-intercept form. Your XY chart is going to be your most basic way. It's when you take X values and you plug them into the equation, solve for Y, and then you plot your points. And you'll be able to use XY charts throughout all of your math for the most part. Standard form for a linear equation, when it aligns in standard form, it's written AX plus BY equals C. A, B, and C, those represent numbers in our equation. X and Y would just be X and Y. There are three things to remember in order for a line to be in standard form. You can't have any fractions or decimals within your equation. The X and Y term will always be on the left side of the equation, and your X term has to be positive. So in order for a line to be in standard form, it must follow those three criteria. So to graph using an XY chart here, it says you'll need to create a table, your XY chart. So sometimes you might say T table and sometimes you'll see XY chart. They mean the same thing. You need to pick at least 3 points for your lines. I know way back at the beginning of the year, we said that it makes 2 points to make a line in geometry, but we use a third point to finalize it to double check our work. There's not a lot of room for me here, so I'm going to do my best to show you my work as neat as I can. So for number 1 here, graph the equation using an XY chart. I tend to solve my equations for Y first. You don't have to, but that's just what I usually do. So what we're going to do is subtract 2x from both sides. And then I get 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. And then I'm going to divide everything by 3. So then I have y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2. Okay, you don't have to do that step. I just tend to because I think it's easier to work with. I'm going to put this over here on the right just so I have a little bit more room, which I'm really not going to, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so when you make your T-table, your chart, what I tend to do, my x's go over here, my y's on the right side. We're going to pick 3 x values and list them here. The best one to pick, 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute my 0 in for the x in the equation above that I have. Well, here, I'll highlight it. In this equation right here. So we're going to substitute 0 in for x. So y equals negative 2/3 times 0 plus 2. And then I'm going to simplify that so I get a y value out. Well, 2/3 times 0, negative 2/3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. So our y value would be 2. This creates the ordered pair, you guys, 0, 2. And that would be 1 point to plug in. Okay, remember we have to pick 3 x values to substitute in. So for my next one, now it doesn't really matter, but here I'm going to use a number that is divisible by 3 since I'm multiplying it by negative 2/3. So I'm going to pick positive 3 to plug in. Y equals negative 2/3 times 3 plus 2. Alright, so when we go to simplify this here on the inside, negative 2/3 times 3, that's going to be negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 would give us a value of 0. So this gives us the ordered pair 3, 0. Remember, your ordered pairs go x, y. So my x value is 3, my y value is 0. I get the ordered pair 3, 0. For the last point, you guys, because we have to pick 3, I'm going to use negative 3 because it's divisible by 3. Y equals negative 2/3 times negative 3 plus 2. Negative 2/3 times negative 3 would be a positive 2. So now I have 2 plus 2, which would give me 4. And then my xy, my ordered pair here, would be negative 3, 4. Okay, so these 3 points that I have in orange, those ordered pairs, that's what we're going to graph here on this first graph. Remember, the x-axis is the horizontal one and the y-axis is the vertical one. So starting at the origin at the center for 0, 2, I don't move left or right, but I do go up 2, so here's 0, 2. The next point, 3, 0, my x value is 3, so from the origin I'm going to go right 3. My y is 0, so there's 3, 0. And then the third point we found, hopefully it lines up with these, negative 3, 4. The x value is negative 3, so on the origin I'm going to go back 3, I'm going to go left 3, and then up 4. And then you guys, after you get your 3 points, do your best to connect the dots, put your arrows, because lines go on forever, and there's your line. Awesome. If you want to pause the video here and try the second one on your own, that's great. I'm going to erase and catch up with you here. So for B, 5x minus 6y equals 30. This is a line. There's no exponents or anything. It's going to create it's a linear equation, so it's going to create a line. I didn't mention this on the first one, but this line is in standard form, like what we talked about at the beginning. There's no fractions or decimals. The x and the y are on the left side, and your x is positive, so this would be standard form. If you want, you guys, you can just plug in 3 x values right here and simplify it. But like you said, or like I said, I like to solve for y first. So I'm going to subtract 5x to both sides. And I get negative 6y equals negative 5x plus 30. And then I need to divide everything by negative 6. So here I get y equals a positive 5/6 x minus 5. 30 divided by negative 6 would be negative 5. Okay, this is where I'm going to make my xy chart. X is on the left, y is on the right. Best x value, 0. So if I plug 0 in, y equals 5/6 times 0 minus 5. Well, 0 times anything is 0 minus 5, so this would give us negative 5. Therefore, the ordered pair we have is 0, negative 5. Kind of doing this backwards than the other one. This time we're taking our input value, our x, and we're taking it times 5/6. So I'm going to pick a number that's a multiple of 6. That means I can divide it by 6. So I'm going to go with positive 6 here. Y equals 5/6 times 6 minus 5. 5/6 times 6 is 5, and 5 minus 5 would be 0. So this ordered pair is 6, 0. And then the third point I'm going to pick, I don't know, you could pick negative 6, you could pick 12, you could pick 18. It's totally up to you guys. You could pick 1, it's just you're going to have a fraction in the end. I'm going to go with negative 6 because I don't think I have 12 on my graph to use. With negative 6, y equals 5/6 times negative 6 minus 5. Well, 5/6 times negative 6, that would be negative 5. Negative 5 minus 5 more, gang, is negative 10. Now, if you can't do that in your head or you need more room to work, do so. If you need to use your calculator, fine. But just make sure you're getting your right points there. So those 3 ordered pairs in orange that I have listed, that's what we're going to graph. I have to erase part of my chart here so I have a nice XY graph here. Remember, the x-axis is the horizontal and the y one is the vertical. So the first point, 0, negative 5. Starting at the origin, we're going to go down 5. 6, 0, starting at the origin, we're going to go right 6. And then it's -6, -10. I got to go back 6 on the origin and then down 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll eyeball it. Ran out of room. Don't forget to connect the dots, your graphing lines, and put your arrows. Cool. Great. Last one. Again, if you want to pause and try it on your own, super. If not, I'm going to get going here. This one is already solved for y for us, so this would not be in standard form. This is actually slope-intercept form. Since it's already solved, I'm going to just put my little xy chart right next to it. Best thing to choose for x, 0. If you look in your equation, y equals -1/2 x minus 2, we're taking the x values times -1/2. So I would recommend using even numbers because even numbers are evenly divisible, or multiples of a half. So I'm going to go +2 and +4. Why? I don't know. That's just what I picked. Okay, so -1/2 times 0 minus 2 would give us -2. So that's the ordered pair 0, -2. If I plug +2 in, -1/2 times 2 minus 2. Well, -1/2 times 2, this would become -1. -1 minus 2 more is -3. So this would be the ordered pair 2, -3. And 4, if we plug 4 in, -1/2 times 4 minus 2. -1/2 times 4 is -2, and -2 minus 2 more would give me -4. So then this, you guys, would be the ordered pair for -4. So I'm going to graph those 3 orange ordered pairs here to the right. 0, -2, 2, -3, 4, -4. Connect your dots. Hopefully they align. Put your arrows. Bada bing, bada boom. Linear equations, graphing using an x, y chart.